kind of roles you're getting now, before I close and open it to the audience there, as a last thing, I want to know what are the kind of roles you ideally would like coming your way as a woman at this stage with your kind of looks, when we are playing mother or another strong character. What are the kind of roles you wish writers wrote for you?
You mean then or now?
Now.
Now, I want something, and I'll be really happy to do something where I can contribute to society in a positive way. Whatever my role is, people should take inspiration that, okay, see, I may not be bang on your face saying that, okay, you have to do this, but it will give strength to some women in a positive way where it can change their lives. I would really love to do such roles, and I try to do, even in my serials and all, I personally don't like to do the negative roles. So I keep telling my producers, if it's a negative role, don't even come to me. I really don't like to bring that negativity into the house. Maybe some people think, okay, it's just acting and all that, but I personally wouldn't like to do it. And I would always say that give me a role which will in some way show people and give women strength to do something with their lives. Not just while away their lives, not just to wither away their lives, but do something which will help women grow up in a more positive way. So that's what I really look forward to nowadays.
Negativity vati pesrappo, you said veetukku I don't want to bring it abdina. So are you an actor who was influenced a lot by the kind of characters that were given to you?
See, earlier I never even thought about the roles. Mine was mainly a decent role, a girl next door role, something like that which would bring a lot of happiness and, being natural and being like my neighbor would say, oh, something like this happened in my house.
So what you were is what others saw in you also.
Yeah. Those days I never gave much of a thought, I have to get a good role, I have to get a good producer, I have to get a good director, good cameraman, and I have to look good in the film. People have to appreciate my role. Other than I have to make an impact on society. I never gave it a thought. I think I was too young then to... Definitely now I feel that whatever I do should not be in any negative way. I shouldn't bring ladies, discourage them in any way. Okay. Whatever I do, whatever I try to say, in any small way, it's even in my book what I've said, I'm not somebody, I have tried to do something, it's not about my achievements in this. It's about the impact of so many people who have affected me in life. It's about how they have affected me in life, how they have impacted me on life. This book is a lot about that and not about what, oh, I have done this, I have done that. It's nothing like that. It's about how they have influenced me. My husband always tells, I don't know whether I told this story also over there, I may have, but that day the program went on so long, I had to cut down my entire speech. No, my husband always ஒரு சின்ன கதை சொல்லுவார் தெரியுமா, இந்த தென்னை மரம் இருக்குல்ல, அந்த தென்னை மரம் வந்து as it grows அந்த குருத்து விடும் சொல்லுவாங்க. Did I tell this that day? இல்ல. அந்த குருத்து அப்படியே, as it grows it keeps falling. And அது வந்து when it falls also it creates a ring sort of thing around that tree. So even if it's a very old tree, you will find a lot of rings around the tree. Yeah, so it's actually that leaf that has fallen off is of no use. Okay, but over years also this tree has such a influence on people. It is always helping people to do something. Even so many people who want to climb the tree, it always it's a stepping stone for them, So every part of the tree, even though it's fallen off, it's having an impact on the tree, and it's having an impact, it helps somebody to climb the tree. It's always there for people, it's helping people always. So andha mari dhaan நம்ம life இருக்கணும். We have to make an impact on other people. We have to create something for people with which they can remember us. நம்ம ஏதோ ஒரு சின்னதா பண்ணோம். It's not that oh நீ இப்படி சாதிக்கணும் அப்படி சாதிக்கணும்லாம் கிடையாது. Anything you do, even in a small way, if it's helping somebody in a very small way also, you should feel happy about that.
You spoke about the impact you had on your children. Can you tell me one impact you had on your husband? உங்க கணவர் மேல நீங்க என்ன இம்பாக்ட் நீங்க இருந்ததனால அவர் வாழ்க்கையில
அவர்கிட்ட தானே கேட்கணும், என்கிட்ட கேட்டா
நீங்க என்ன நினைக்கிறீங்க அத பத்தி?
I feel I am the best impact on him. It's up to him to tell what he is feeling, no?
Best impact na என்ன பெஸ்ட்?
எல்லாத்துலயுமே,
ஸ்டெடி ஒரு ஸ்டெடி ஆக்கினீங்களா அவர் லைஃப்? என்ன பண்ணீங்க?
That's what he feels, and the title to steady his life, I think he married me because he was at crossroads and lot of things like that. But
you need sturdy support all through.
That's what he says, but I don't know. I think he's been more of a support to me all the time. You know, like I'm very confused at times about decisions I have to take, whereas he's very clear cut about anything he wants. I think he's been more of a better influence on me.
Is that the best thing you admire about him? What is the most biggest thing you admire about him?
I admire his thought process because, you know, like I would, if somebody says something, I would judge that person immediately. Whereas he will never judge a person just on what they are saying. You know, he will always think about why they said it, why it has been said. You know, like things. He will always think like that and then always judge a person. So I think that's a better trait than judging a person just by one incident or one issue. So I think that way is better. But I think he has learned more to be more patient and all because of me.
Because of you. Great. Then it's a good partnership.
One more thing I would say that அவர் எப்பவுமே சொல்லுவார், நம்ம எதிர்ந்தாலும் நம்ம ட்ரை பண்ணணும், ட்ரை பண்ணி நம்ம ஃபெயில் பண்ணா கூட நம்ம அதில் தோத்துட்டோம் கூட பரவாயில்ல, இட்ஸ் கோயிங் டு பி அன் எக்ஸ்பீரியன்ஸ் ஃபார் யூ. நம்ம ட்ரையே பண்ணலைன்னா இட்ஸ் ஐ மீன் எனிதிங் இஸ் கோயிங் டு பி அ ஃபெயிலியர் ஃபார் யூ. யூ ஹேவ் டு மேக் தி எஃபர்ட் அண்ட் மேக் யூ ஹேவ் டு ட்ரை அவுட் சம்திங். யூனோ அது ட்ரையலில் தான் எவ்ரி திங் இஸ் தேர். Whether you succeed and all is only if you make an effort and try something, you will be able to succeed. Try பண்ணலைன்னா 100% failure தான், guaranteed failure தான்.
It's nice. So there's this lovely balance and compatibility in spite of all these things that we are able to see in the marriage. That's very nice.
Compatibility இல்லாத வந்து language தான். அவருக்கு சுட்டு போட்டா இங்கிலீஷ் வராது, எனக்கு நிறைய தமிழே வராது ஆரம்பத்தில். Now both of us are balanced in English and Tamil.
So செய்க பண்ணிட்டு இருப்பீங்களா?
எங்களோட ஃபர்ஸ்ட் மீட்டிங்கே நீங்க புக்ல படிச்சீங்கன்னா தெரியும். Because of English, you know, like I said, oh இந்தாளா அப்படின்னு
மேடையிலயும் அவர் சொன்னாருன்னு நினைக்கிறேன் அன்னைக்கு பசங்க கூட இங்கிலீஷ் பேசுறத பத்தி. And I know some Englishனு ஒரு லைன் வேற சொன்னாரு. So yeah, good. எனக்கு in fact can we pass the mic to the audience please? We'll start with Suresh from there.
எனக்கு உங்களுடைய எல்லா படங்களோட அந்த ஓலங்கள் ரொம்ப பிடிக்கும். அதுல அந்த தும்பி வா தும்ப நேத்தி கூட ஷைலஜாவோட சொல்லிட்டு இருந்தேன்.
I know it is one of my favorite films also.
Wonderful movie. அதுல நீங்க அழகா இருக்கீங்க, சிரிச்சா ரொம்ப அழகா இருக்கீங்க.
Thank you.
Thank you.
You make me feel shy now.
Hi. I was just wondering, I mean, you're such an easy, laid-back narrator. Have you ever thought of writing a story for a movie?
Yeah, actually having a writer in the house, you know,
Okay.
I'm always going to be compared, so, you know, that thought never occurred to me to write something.
Can you ever have enough writers? I don't think so.
I don't think I think so deeply,
I don't
you know, I'm
whether
more
you
frivolous.
Know Mr. Muttaya, S. Muttaya of the Hindu and everywhere. He used to always say, everyone has a story in them. It just needs to come out. So I think because
like I'm talking now, if you give me the mic
so
and
much,
speak on stage, I can never speak, you know. But
no, you have
like
so
this,
much of this thing of how you must make an impact. So if there isn't an appropriate story, why don't you just write it yourself? There must be something in there that's making
Actually,
you
I've
say
never
that.
thought of myself as a writer, you know, because
start
already we are
now.
having such a celebrated writer in the house. I've always thought that, okay, I can't do it, you know, and yeah, maybe sometime in future if a good thought comes, I'll try to pen it down. Or I have friends who can write better, I can tell them and they can write.
So that's one of the things, I think Homepreneur Award ஓட இதுல வந்து Kumaravel was saying something. He said women get satisfied very soon with some of these things, and I think it's so true. Because நம்ம சொசைட்டி கொடுத்த சில நார்ம்ஸை ஃபில் இன் பண்ண பார்க்குறோம், which is what she's done. And இப்போ என் கேஸ்லலாம் என்னை எதுவும் பண்ணாதன்னு யாரும் சொல்லலை, ஆனால் நானே பண்ணணும்னு we haven't found out ourselves and we get satisfied. I've heard Suhasini also says, வீட்டில் we have a director like this. When I ask her, இந்திராக்கு அப்புறம் ஏன் படம் பண்ணலன்னா, she'll say, வீட்டில் மணி சார் மாதிரி ஒரு டைரக்டர் இருக்கிறப்போ why? பட் ஐ திங்க் நம்ம எவ்வளோ நல்லா குக் பண்ணினாலும் தேவைன்னா அவங்க குக் பண்ணிக்கிறாங்கல்ல, அது மாதிரி நமக்கு இப்போ தேவை வரப்போது சுஷி சொல்கிற மாதிரி இஃப் யூ ரைட் அண்ட் the more we write, I think we'll get something. You'll be telling those ordinary tales which have extraordinary things about it. I think you should try that.
Thank you, let me think about it. Thank you for putting that seed in my mind.
Hi Poornima, very lovely listening to you. So you were saying, நீங்க வந்து 80 to 84ல நான் ரொம்ப இம்பாக்ட் பத்தி எல்லாம் யோசிக்கல, கேரக்டர்ஸ் பத்தி யோசிக்கலன்னு. But if you remember, one of your most impactful movies, also from the point of view of being an inspiring inspiration, was Vidhi. I don't know, when I was in my teens then, and that movie used to, you know, kind of stir up so much because it was path breaking at that time. Your character, and of course your character led by Sujata, but the entire script and all that, அந்த மாதிரி படம்லாம் அப்போ வந்ததே இல்லை. இஃப் அ மேன் ஹஸ் சீட்டட் somehow that woman will go and marry that protagonist. This was an entire legal drama and it was a beautiful movie. உங்களுக்கு ஞாபகம் இருக்கா? What was your experience, and as a 20-year-old who acted in that movie, did you relate to that character at all?
நான் சொன்ன மாதிரி actually those days I didn't give it much of a thought. You know, that film just landed in my lap and I grabbed it. அவ்வளவுதான். It seemed like a good subject. It was already hit in Telugu. So I said I'm definitely doing it because I was always looking out for something where a lady protagonist is there. So அந்த மாதிரி வரும்போது, you know, like a heroine oriented subject, நான் முந்திலாம் அதுக்காக நிறைய எழுதுவாங்க. So such subjects I would always grab first rather than just a commercial film in which a hero and heroine are running behind trees and all that. So I always gave weightage and preference to films which I had more to do in the film. So அந்த மாதிரி ஒரு டைட்டில் தான் விதி. Actually I didn't think so much about the impact that film would have. Later on that, and till today, you know, people still talk about the impact of that film. But yes, I think I was probably lucky also in getting that film at that point of time.
Soundtrack.
Soundtrack இருக்கும். That Arur Dasna writer, he was the writer, and அவ்வளோ நல்ல டைலாக்ஸ். ஆனால் நாங்கள் பேசும்போது ஐயோ இவ்வளோ பெரிய பெரிய டைலாகாக கொடுத்துருக்காருன்னு ஐ யூஸ் டு பி வண்டரிங். நான் பேப்பர்லாம் எடுத்துகிட்டு போய் பை ஹார்ட் பண்ண வேண்டியிருக்கும். Because there used to be lengthy dialogues, you know, and
Bhagyaraj sir ஒரு சீன்ல வருவார்ல அதுல.
ஆமாம்மா.
In fact, we had him on an online session, Cinema Rendezvous. Some of you may have come where we spoke about it. But நான் உங்களை அந்த கேள்வி கேட்டேன், உங்களுக்கு இன்னைக்கு என்ன மாதிரி ரோல்ஸ்? In fact, I wanted to tell you, Sujata role இப்போ உங்களுக்கு, if you came to that, because that's a role at your age you could have done. And so I was actually hoping you'd say something like, I wanted to be reversed and I want to be playing Sujata and not that other girl.
That age was like that, you know, like that age I can't be a person who knows everything about law and, you know, talk about it and advise anybody. So my age was not like that. If I get, definitely I would love such a role, you know, I would love to do it. It's really very important and impactful role, and, you know, creating a lot of awareness for the society. Definitely I would love to do such a role.
Next question.
This was one of the most natural, casual and fantastic discussion and interview that I thoroughly enjoyed. Thank you very much for both of you. It was it was like narrating your life in front of us. It was so very engaging. Thank you so much. I just have this question to you. See, Bhagyaraj, Mr. Bhagyaraj was such a celebrated director. Now, what does it do? Directors should they really have a shelf life, and why aren't we seeing such a great writer and a director these days? What's changed? And, you know, if he wants to do, he can do. See, he was not doing stereotype movies. Vidiyum Varai Kaathiru was a completely different genre that he did. If he wants, he can do such movies. What's happening? What is holding him back? As a fan of Bhagyaraj, I'm keen to understand this mystery.
Yeah, I think times are changing, and, you know, people in the younger generation feel that a person who is a little older cannot tend to their ideas and their likings, you know. So we have to really, if something really interesting comes up, I'm sure he'll be able to write. In fact, his thoughts are quite modern, but I think social media has created such a mindset in the mind of youngsters, you know, that people who are in the earlier generation may not be able to cater to our liking and things like that. So it is actually not easy, but I mean, you see his thoughts, he's actually putting it into books and things like that now.
And he's enjoying
he's enjoying it, but I would really still love to watch him make a film or at least write a good script, because I don't think there's anybody who can write a better script than him, even today.
Good. That was Vasu, and he's writing his feature script. He's thinking of actors for it and all that. And I have a request. Generally, யாராவது பேசுகிறப்போ, நான் ஹாலில் போய் பேசுகிறப்போ நான் நின்று கேள்வி கேட்பேன். அது நான் சின்னவா அவங்க பெரிய அதனாலலாம் இல்லை. இங்கே ப்ராக்டிக்கலாக வந்து கேமரா உங்களை கொஞ்சம் பெட்டராக கவர் பண்ணும். கொஞ்சம் ஏந்து நின்று கேள்வி கேட்டிங்கன்னா நல்லாயிருக்கும். இட்ஸ் a very informal thing, but that puts you in better light and everybody can see you. It's good when you voice your thoughts. Please.
Yeah, see, Mr. Bhagyaraj, as you said, because Bhagyaraj fan அந்த பீரியட்ல ஆல்மோஸ்ட் ஆல், there is no exception. If you say Bhagyaraj பிடிக்காதுன்னு சொன்னா அந்த மாதிரி யாருமே இருக்க முடியாது. ஸோ அந்த நேரத்தில் it's not that now it's a long way. Why he disappeared suddenly? Actually, this question I wanted to ask him. He's such a talented person. He was giving continuous hits.
Yeah, actually, I have to tell you this. I mean, we all go through good and bad phases in life, and we also face some difficult situations.
I'm also doing a little bit of direction there, sorry.
Yeah, we also faced a little bit of difficulties in life um, by taking some wrong decisions. You know, like I don't think it was his fault or anything, but his tendency to help people really worked the wrong way for him. Trying to pull somebody out of a crisis and things like that. Because of that, I think he had to face a lot of difficulties, and his um, money and reputation was all at stake at that point of time. So, you know, being all that, you know, after that, even I didn't push him too much because I didn't want to face all that trouble again, you know. So I told him, no, we'll take it slow. And then he took it too slow, I think. He didn't. But he's always working on something. He's writing or discussing something all the time. Maybe not in films, but he's always writing something, you know. Actually, he's not too interested in RSL. People are pulling him in all directions, and, you know, he's also getting the flack for that.
Hi Poornima. For me, Poornima is a member of the Worried Mothers Club.
He knows better because we've been part of that group, like I told you, like we were always in the PTA and going out with children. So she was my partner always.
Yeah, so we have some beautiful memories together. And for me, she was a very normal mother who was naturally worried about her daughter, like I was about my daughter, and they were just growing up at that time. Ninth standard is the worst that can happen to a mother because they're just discovering boys at that time. So true. So we had this very active PTA at Sishya, and we would almost always land up as the class parents. And I remember this particular one journey that we took to Ooty, and
we went on third class by train.
and she was the most normal mother, a person, you know. And it was only when I reached Ooty, and you know, you just consider her as one of your friends when you go along. But only when in a group of other people, I mean, the crowds that would come around her in Ooty when we would go out, you know. So that's when I realized that she is a celebrity that I'm dealing with, you know. And I can only sum her up in one way by saying that she's the simplest person that I know, and she's the most beautiful, caring, loving person that I know, okay? So, love you, Poornima.
Thank you, Nina. I have to say the same thing about Nina because I thought she was the most unassuming person, and she being, then I was introduced to her and said that she's the owner of this Hotel Savera. And, you know, we used to come and stay here when we came from, for shoots and all that. And, you know, I found her so simple, and when we went in the third class, I told you we went in the third class train, and she, I mean, she could have easily flown to the place directly or, you know, come by first class or whatever, but she stayed with the children, and she brought sandwiches, and she made sure that each and every child got their food properly. She took so much of care of everybody, you know. She even took care of us mothers. She still is like that, I know that. She's the most caring person and such a lovely human
You
being.
have a room full of women and men saying, yes, you
yes,
know
see?
that. But I'm not letting go of Nina. I want to ask you something. Nina, we speak about middle age, lovely middle age of women and all the possibilities, what we can do. We're kind of extending that and giving it a different color. What would you advise as a friend, suggest as a friend, not even advise? What are the things you'd like Poornima to concentrate on?
I think she is evolving beautifully because I've been watching her for the past many years, and she's become even more graceful in the sense, you know, she's like even more unassuming of sorts, and she's very open and approachable, even more than earlier. I think that's what I want her to be. She's just one call away for any of us. It's not just me, but for many of her own friends. She's doing well, and I think she's also making time for herself. You can make out from that, you know, like not too many women do that. I think she's evolved into someone who's really caring for herself, and I think that's what I want every woman in this room to look after yourself. Not just women, men also.
Yeah, I know, men. I was just going to say that. Please
Because
take care of
age
yourself.
doesn't matter, because I actually got delayed because I couldn't go for my morning workout. I went for my 10 to 11, so I'm sorry I came late. I think that's what dedication is about. The older you get, the more care you need to take care of yourself, so you are not dependent on others. So you're doing very well, yeah?
Thank you. Yeah, actually I do spend a lot of time on myself nowadays. I see to it that I have my me time. Yeah. and I have to spend time with my friends because they are like my boost of energy. So I feel it's very important, getting connected back with my earlier friends. My circle of friends was something, a major step in my life, which I did consciously, and I'm so happy about it, And now I advise my children. I said, you never let go of your friends. Don't give up for your husband, or you don't give up for your wife. You have your circle of friends. You maintain your friends, because that is the most important circle in your life, So they are my what do you say, my anchor, right? Yeah, anchor, and whatever other adjectives you can give for that.
So we are very inclusive lot. So இங்க மைனாரிட்டியா இருக்கிற மென்னுக்கும் நாங்கள் இதையே சொல்கிறோம். அப்பாங்கிற ஸ்தானம், குழந்தைங்க, பொண்டாட்டி ஐயோ இப்படி புலம்ப தொடங்கிட்டாலே, ஏன்னா திடீர்னு 40s தாண்டினோடனே விமன் ஐயோ நாங்கள் விட்டுட்டோம் அப்படின்னு நாங்கள் வி லேண்ட் அப் தேர் suddenly with self-identity crises. So don't lose yourself on that. All you men, please take care of yourselves, not just physically.
Or you can be like my husband, when I start polemifying, he runs away. Says, "Aramchitappa," he will run away and try to avoid that time. So he knows that after some time I'll settle back, so he'll come back then.
Yeah, we'll give you polembing times because we realize உங்களுக்கும் மனசுல புலம்பறதுக்கு இருக்கு. Yeah, you can do women things, we can do men things.